used to feel so uninspired.
Welcome to The Perfect Song. Today we'll be talking about Aretha Franklin's recording of You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. This came out in 1967 as a single. It was written for Franklin specifically, with the words by Jerry Goffin, and the music was composed by Carole King, the amazing Carole King. Carole King did do a version of this song on her album Tapestry.
Before the day I met you, life was so unkind. Your love was the key to my peace of mind. 'Cause you make me feel, you make me feel, you make me feel like a natural woman.
And these writers were were residents of the famous Brill Building, did a lot of responsible for tons of hit songs, American hit songs in the 60s and 70s, I think. So this song was a big hit and reached number 8 on the Billboard 100 and became one of Aretha's signature songs. And there was at the Kennedy Center Honors in 2015, they were honoring Carole King, and Aretha Franklin came out and did a version of this, which was incredible. It is on YouTube, everybody. So just go find it. It's really amazing. It's really good. How do you guys feel about this song initially? When did you think about when you first heard it? If you can remember, it's probably you were kids or something, but what do you guys think?
I don't remember when I first heard it. I do remember an episode of Moonlighting that had it, but that's another story for another day. Anyway, I think, in this particular case, it's one of those songs that I could listen to it at any moment in time and love it, kind of thing. And that's just, I tend to really latch on to a lot of her songs in general, but this is actually my favorite of hers. But I can't tell you what I felt the first time I heard it, other than probably loving it, kind of thing. So
Sure.
It's entirely possible that the first time I heard this was when I was watching The Big Chill, on which it is part of the soundtrack. And, I don't think I had a strong reaction except kind of liking it when I was younger. It's not a song that I think grabbed me in any way when I was really young. I definitely think it's a great song now, but I think I needed to get a little older, have a little more tread on my tires before I started appreciating it the way that I do now. And it is a great song.
Yeah. So when you listened to it most recently, what were your reactions to it, specifically in the song? How did it strike you?
I like I don't know what you would call almost the languor of the song. Like the song is just, it's slow and easy and natural in a way that a lot of music isn't. Certainly a lot of pop hits aren't. Obviously it's more R&B. And it really feels natural, for the lack of a better term.
Mm-hmm.
And sexy and raw.
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah. There's nothing I could find in the song that that didn't work. And it is, like Alan said, it's like it's smooth and languid, and it has this pacing to it that's so good, but it still has a build. Even though it continues that same pace throughout it, it still builds emotionally as it goes. And it's so interesting how you have that pace, yet there's this feeling inside you that just builds as it goes. I find that it works really well on that level. So
yeah, her energy and gets in the chorus is she really sells it.
Woman.
and then she gets back to the verse, and it kind of comes back down, so it brings you on a little bit of a ride, I guess. Takes you on a little bit of a ride. But I obviously, as I listened to it, my reactions were, wow, Aretha Franklin's voice is so great.
Yeah.
And what I had noticed about the song from memory was, and again, I probably first heard the song when I was a kid, and it was on the radio in the car or something, and I don't remember my reaction, but it probably was, that was an old song. But what I didn't notice as much until this listening was the arrangement of sort of the strings and horns that are in there. It's a big part of the sort of the feel of the song. I think what you said, Alan, is right. It's very kind of sensual, and she's really feeling, through the song. And that kind of smooths it out a little bit. And I think it is a really great song. And I find myself, after I've heard the song, for the rest of the day, singing that I feel like a natural woman, because it's very catchy, and Carole King's good at writing the catchy hook. There's not much more I can say about it. It is a fantastic song from a fantastic artist. Is there anything else you want to add?
Well, you mentioned that that has a hook, but a lot of songs actually, what I find, simply just go for the hook and just have that and have nothing else going on for it. But this song feels entire and like whole. Like there's an entire story in there that you don't get with a lot of songs that just go for hooks. And
right.
I like that. It tells a really great story at the same time.
Yeah.
I would also add, I think I said earlier that there's it's a sexy song. There's a lot of sexuality and also sensuality to it, but it's not of a kind of flashy kind or in your face. To me, it feels sexy because it's so intimate. And
it's a really personal, a personal message from the singer, from the point of view of the singer, saying, the verses are relatively straightforward, about being in love. I felt this way, you were this, you did this for me. But then when you hit that chorus, the way she's expressing how she feels, it's a little different from your typical song. It's like, you make me feel like a natural woman. It's like, wow, what does that mean? And it feels very real and very, what's the word? It's very organic. What's the word? Bodily. I don't know. I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for is, but it really works.
Oh, baby, what you've done to me. What you've done to me. You make me feel so good inside. Good inside. And I just wanna be close to you. You make me feel so alive. You make me feel.
Yeah, great song.
well, I think it says very simply and straightforwardly, how she feels.
Yeah.
And it might be because of all those elements why it became this kind of like a feminist anthem too at the time, like a celebration of being a woman. And what I like is that a lot of songs tend to seek for validation. This doesn't seek for validation. It just says, this is how you make me feel. I validate myself, but you make me feel a certain way, and it doesn't. Right. But it doesn't search for a validation. I like how it does that.
Yeah, it's like she's saying, you make me feel like a natural woman. Like you make me feel like I can be who I am almost, or I can be. And again, this idea that women have to be unnatural to be validated in society somehow. Like they have to dress a certain way, look a certain way. The power of the chorus is, you make me feel like a natural woman. Like I can be who I am, and I don't have to put up anything false. Maybe that's the sense I get.
I didn't get that, but I can see it.
That's BS.
No, I'm not saying it's BS. I'm just saying that didn't come out for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was just sort of thinking about the lyrics and, how they could mean and how they differ from typical love song, I guess,
Mhm.
We hope you're enjoying this Gen Explainers podcast. Remember to find us and follow us on social media. Give us a like, a follow, or support us on Patreon. And we'd much appreciate a 5-star rating on the podcast platform of your choice. Now, let's get back to the show. So, okay, let's get to it. Is it a perfect song? I'm going to go first. I think perhaps it is a perfect song, but and again, the term perfect, part of like the idea of perfect is, was it the correct length? Was it not too short or too long? And to be honest with you, it is a good length. It's short and it does what it does. The one quibble I have with this song is in the production, and they fade it out abruptly and in a kind of a weird way. It just goes away. And Aretha is starting to really cook vocally at that point. And it's just like they dropped it out. And I'm like, I think it needs another measure or two of Aretha letting her do her thing. Because if you listen to it during the fade, she starts really getting into it. And I'm like, oh, I want to hear more of that. So for me, that means it's not a perfect song only for that. It's very close. And the other part of it is, when I'm thinking about Aretha Franklin songs, I might argue that Respect might be more perfect. But what do you think?
I've heard so many different versions of even Aretha singing different versions of it that I don't remember exactly the fade out, because again, it's
right.
like
it is specific to this single record, or this
for the original recording. I get that. I was going to say it is a perfect song.
Sure.
And I do think it, because of the instrumentations, because of the musicianship, because of her voice becomes an instrument within the song too. Everything about it, the lyrics, all that stuff, it actually is a perfect song. And I agree with the length. I agree with all that. The fade out, I wasn't even thinking in that, put myself in that mindset when I was thinking about that. But other than that, I guess for me, it works on all levels.
Sure.
So.
It's a bit of a quibble. It's a bit of a little nitpicky thing. It's 98% perfect.
Can something be perfect if it's only 98% perfect?
Oh man. Okay.
I kind of go back and forth. I love the song. I think it's a great song. It's not my favorite Aretha Franklin song. That would probably be either Respect or Think. I think Think is probably my favorite, because I think Think is the first one I remember hearing.
Did you hear it in the Blues Brothers, or did you hear it somewhere?
I did. I heard it in the Blues Brothers, and I loved it. As a matter of fact,
it's an iconic scene.
It's great.
It's an iconic scene.
Think about what you're trying to do to me. Yeah. But your mind won't let yourself be free. You need me, and I need you. Without each other, ain't nothing either can do. Yeah.
and I would rather watch that scene than listen to the song just recorded, just because it's so blended together in my psyche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a great number in that movie, actually. It's a lot of fun.
Well,
So-
it just got that great preamble, which is like, get out of here, and you're not gonna have Mac Guitar Murphy, and you're not gonna have your 4 fried chickens, and
Yeah.
all that stuff. But we're not talking about that song.
Mm-mm.
We're talking about this song. And while I think this song is great, I don't feel like it is perfect. I feel like it's iconic and great, but yeah, I'm gonna say not perfect.
Not perfect. And I think, it's very close. I think the team up of Aretha Franklin and Carole King is great. And again, great song. Love it. But yeah, maybe just short. Well, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave your comment on how you feel about this song, or maybe a different Aretha song, or, how much, I'm full of it. No. And
can I write on that?
Sure. You have a whole list, right? All right. Well, thanks guys. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this Gen Explainers podcast. Follow us on Instagram and friend us on Facebook. Just search for GenXplainers and find us on Patreon, where you can support the channel and gain access to extended cuts of the podcast as well as exclusive bonus content. See you next time.